Obvious child. It's Ross King, it's Take 5 and Radio 5. 0345 909 693. 0345 909 693. That is the phone number. You can give us a call. You can chat to us about absolutely anything. You can have a chat with Patrick, you can have a dedication, or indeed you can take part in the competition. So, as you've already guessed, Patrick Moore is our special guest this morning. Patrick, it's nice to see you.
Nice to be here.
And of course, you've got a brand new book out at the moment.
Yes, it's called The Universe for the Under-10s, even though I think it's being read more by the over-10s than the under-10s.
I think so. Now, of course, the question that you gave us for the Safe Busters clue, can you give us an additional clue? Because it's quite a tricky little question, isn't it?
Well, yes. The Andromeda Galaxy is the nearest of the really large star systems beyond our own. And you've got to give the distance in light years, and 1 light year is the distance travelled by a ray of light in 1 year. Well, now, light absolutely whips along.
Yes.
It goes along at 186,000 miles every second. So in 1 year, if you can work it out, it travels rather less than 6 million miles, which is quite a way.
Right, so I think it would probably be more confused now, actually.
Well, you can see the Andromeda Galaxy anyway in the evening sky now.
Ah, well then, so it can't be that far away.
Well, you can indeed see it. You just about see it with the naked eye, and with binoculars, quite easy.
Right. I see. Now then, we do have someone on the line who desperately wants to speak to you because we do have a letter here. It comes from John McCracken, who's in Kilmarnock in Ayrshire in Scotland, and the person I would most like to meet most would be Patrick Moore. Well, he's on the line now. Good morning, John.
Morning.
How are you?
Hello, John. How are you?
Okay.
Patrick Moore here. Nice to hear you. What can I do for you, John?
I'd like to ask you some questions.
Go ahead.
About space and about you.
Yes, go ahead.
What age were you when you first took up astronomy, and what got you interested in it?
I can answer that quite quickly. I was 6 years old. And that takes us back to the 1929, I'm afraid. I was 6 years old. I was sitting in the armchair in my home in Sussex, and in the bookshelf was a book called The Story of the Solar System by a man named Chambers. I picked it up, I read it, I got hooked. Simple as that, John. Just reading a book when I was 6.
And I'd like to know, what is the nearest star to ours?
Well, it's a trick question, because the nearest star to the Earth is, of course, the Sun. The Sun is an ordinary star, and that's 93 million miles away. If you mean beyond that, there's a system called Alpha Centauri, which you can't actually see from here. It's too far south in the sky. And one member of that pair, that trio, called Proxima Centauri, that is actually the nearest star beyond the Sun. And it's 4.2 light years away. I was talking about light years just now. So the answer is Proxima Centauri.
And I'd like to know, how many light years away is it?
4.2, just over 4 light years, and that's the nearest star. The nearest really bright star is the brighter pair of that trio, called Alpha Centauri, and that's just a bit further. But of course, it's a long, long way. It's something like 25 million miles, so we certainly can't send rockets there. I mean, I am quite prepared to believe we're going to send the people back to the moon and Mars in our own time. How old are you now? How old are you, John?
11.
11. Well, you might quite easily go to the moon, and I think you'll live to see people get as far as the planet Mars. I won't, but you will. If you do get to the moon, I'm still around, send me a postcard.
And finally, I'd like to know what you need to, start astronomy, because my wee brother is really, really into space.
Well, if you want to start astronomy, the first thing to do, I think, is to do some reading, which you've obviously done, and get the main facts. And the thing not to do is to go out and buy a very small telescope, because very small telescopes, costing a few tens of pounds, really aren't worth having. If you're going to get a proper astronomical telescope, then you've got to spend quite a bit of money, several £100s. But don't despair, because the thing to do is to go and get a pair of binoculars. And they don't cost a great deal, and they'll show you all kinds of things. They won't show you Saturn's rings, I'm afraid. They'll show you coloured stars, star fields, clusters, nebulae, and, of course, a lot on the surface of the moon. Don't look at the sun, by the way, ever. But binoculars are the answer. And then if you're still really interested, then save up and get a good telescope. And, of course, mind you, too, there are various organisations you can join. Where do you actually live, John?
Kilmarnock in Scotland.
What's your nearest really big city? Edinburgh, Glasgow?
Glasgow.
Well, there's a society there, and there's a very good astronomical society in Edinburgh. There's a very good one in Dundee. And so you could join any of those. There's also a junior astronomical society, and you could join any of these. And if you write to me, care of this programme, I'll send you all the details.
Thank you.
Splendid. How about that then, John? I think that's answered all your questions, hasn't it?
Yes.
Well, nice to have heard you, Don. I wish you all success. I'm quite sure we'll meet one day.
Thank you.
Hope that sounds good to me. And also, we'll get Patrick to autograph one of his books for you as well.
Yes.
And for your brother Sandy too, because he wanted to ask a few questions, but he's gone a bit shy, hasn't he?
Where is Sandy? Is he there?
No, he's not here.
Oh, not here. Never mind. Give him my best
He's
wishes.
that shy.
And we'll send you a book, John.
Right, thank you.
Right.
Cheers, John. Thank you very
Bye.
much. Well, he is well genned up in his subject,
He's
isn't
up
he?
indeed. Yes, he is indeed.
And of course, if you want to ask any questions to Patrick, the number 0345 909 693. That's 0345 909 693. Now, of course.